Hello. So I'm going to do a sit down video. I haven't done one of these in a while. I think I've only done a handful since I've started this channel and started working on this property. So I have 30 mountain acres I'm calling Sky Valley. Right now starting about the third year experience of this property, kind of what has unfolded. And it's been very much an experiment and a creative process and just an organic evolution that I'm trying to create from this whole experience. So I'm gonna do a chat. Not sure how long it's gonna be. I'm kind of winging it. I don't really have a lot of like specifics nailed down, but I just want to talk about what's on my mind, whatever comes up, and that way this will have there'll be some documentation, a little bit deeper thoughts because I've been pumping out YouTube shorts and they're very impersonal. Like there's no connection. I feel like you can't get to know the person or what's really on their mind or what's really going on. It's just like quick snippets of like every little project that I've done, and I told myself that I would do the shorts because they're easier to do. I can shoot them quickly and edit them quickly, and there's a really actually a fun creative process in the shorts, which I've come to like. From my creative side, I get to play with like kind of cropping things together, adjusting timing, playing with picking the right music and seeing what feels right. It's kind of like each short's like a little artistic piece that I like am putting together and puzzle piecing together. So that I think keeps my creative juices going, and I find it fun. Um, it's kind of crazy like what shorts do well and which don't. I have shorts that have like 4 views that I've probably spent way too much time messing with, and then I have shorts that I did like no editing, and I don't know why everyone loves them, but they have like 15,000 views. So who knows? But the shorts, I'm doing those because they're easier, and my goal is once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm thinking that's kind of like a big point for a channel. So I'm shooting for 1,000. Then I'm gonna switch. I probably will keep doing shorts because I like the kind of video log, and they're fun to look back at, like all the little projects and things along the way. So I'll probably continue to play with shorts, but I will do a little bit more sit down videos, maybe talking about what's going on. I'll do more longer form videos, and hopefully the goal is like as the channel grows and as I get more subscribers, I'll improve the quality and stuff that I'm putting into the channel. But right now, I just am documenting it, sharing it, seeing who's interested in following along, and we'll see if enough people are like tag along with me and are on board with the channel and interested in what I'm doing. Then I'll put more resources into it. But right now, I'm just a single person that has very limited resources, and I'm focusing really heavily on getting these stays built out on my property on Airbnb and HipCamp right now so that I can have some revenue to continue to put in the property. So the goal is that over time I'll continue to expand the property and create these different unique stays and improve them, maybe change them out to different and better stays or upgrade them along the way, and just to continue to kind of bring in the revenue so that I can continue to put it back into the property and create this nice cycle, kind of yearly cycle of hosting and running the property and greeting people and creating experiences there, and then adding amenities and expanding and dreaming up new stays and builds, and connecting with people, and eventually I'd like to get into where I can host kind of smaller intimate like events and things out on the property. But it's fun. It's a very organic process that I'm embracing and enjoying. That's exactly what I wanted to do. I, I pretty much sold everything and just moved to the mountains. And then I was like, I just want to build and create cool spaces for people. And that's just like what makes me the most happy is when I'm busy and I'm working on creative stuff, and I'm building. I like creating space, like unique spaces, and dreaming up things. So and hosting people. I've met, man, last season was the first season that I really had guests flowing through, and by the end of the season, I mean it was amazing. I had 4 different stays all booked, all like at one time with a range of people. I had young couples passing through on their adventures around the country. I had full families that would book the entire property. I had like a couple that was like drove from New York down to the Smoky Mountains and to get married in the Smoky Mountains and stayed at my cool glamping site that I call base camp. They stayed there. Um, I had a band that booked the whole property and stayed. Um, I had a father and his son stay. It was his son's birthday, and his son brought a bunch of his friends. So it's a bunch of teenage boys playing around the property with walkie talkies and catching tiny little fish in the creek with these little hooks. It was super cute. But yeah, so it's I've had a range of guests, single people coming through, just trying to escape the world, like really needing to disconnect and spend some time out in nature and just a meditative experience. So people come for all kinds of different reasons, like for family stuff and for personal and spiritual stuff, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. I met a lot of really really nice people, and so that's one of the amazing things that I just love about hosting. It just kind of gets me reconnected, and then over the like into the winter time, I can travel a little and plan on other things for the property. So let's see updates, or let's talk about let's try to cover my journey. So year one, I was looking for property, and I had that's where I was like, I want to find a property that I feel like I don't need to sell, or don't feel like it's like an investment, or I have money tied into it, or like I wanted like I finally wanted to get situated. I've had so many properties and traveled so much, just been on the constantly traveling on the road and on the go and road tripping and on the move, and I just really wanted a place that I could just have forever and build and create on. So that was the initial plan, and I started looking, and it was a good year of searching up and down the East Coast in the mountains and just seeing what I could find and what areas were calling to me. I knew I wanted some mountain property, and then I kept coming back to this area. This area would just kept calling me back over and over and over. So I ended up putting in a couple offers here, seeing some properties, and then the property that I got, I it was when I saw it come up online, it showed that it had only been listed like a day, or like it was like just listed, and I don't know if it had been listed in the past, but it had sat for a while. But yeah, I put an offer in on it. Then it was like 6 months to a year of like making that offer work. There was a lot of snags be, with stuff. Like the property was technically like landlocked; you couldn't get to it. I had to work out deals with the owner of the property that I had to drive across to get to my property, and and then the owner of my property and the owner of the other property were kind of button heads a little bit. So it was tough. There was a lot of work that had to be involved between my agent and the property I was buying's agent, and then the other property. Um, but it ended up all working out. And so my property sat for a while. I think it was like 7 to 10 years that it sat. It was an older lady that sold it. Her husband passed away suddenly, and they had used that as a secondary property, and they said they ran a lot of livestock on it, and and you could tell, right, there was areas where it used to be cleared that young forests are starting to kind of take back over. It had sat so long, and the the house was overgrown with ivy where you couldn't even see like half the house, and it was like growing in through the walls and across into the other rooms. It was crazy. Oh man. But so that's year one. And then year two, I was getting other things but like figured out and lined up. So year two was when it really kicked off. I got the main base camp glamping site under this giant pole barn set up, and that was amazing. It's this cool outdoor living space, an outdoor shower, and I added a nice new compost toilet now up there, and it has a cool outdoor kitchen with a beautiful view. And so I built that out and stayed there for a while, just living out there off grid, building that out. I loved that so much. That time, I'm gonna remember that forever. Such a amazing time. spending out in the mountains, just building like that. But yeah, so Basecamp went through some iterations. Then I listed that on Airbnb, and it booked right away. And people started coming, staying there, and they enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed it. And so then I was like, okay, I should just repeat this process. So I built another outdoor kitchen, bath, and shower that's a little further down the hill by the creek. Got that listed, and then that booked too. And so I got kind of campsites going, and I went from like a tent under a pole barn to a like fold out mobile housing structure, um, to now I'm going to the or the vintage camper in 1967, little red camper, and then to the Airstream. So that's in the mix now, is the little red camper and the Airstream. They'll be up this season. The red camper probably first. It needs the least amount of work, but I do want to get a roof over that, so we'll see. But so that's so yeah, we're talking about getting into that's like current. But so I talked about year one, year two was just hosting guests. Like so, I got the base camp built out, the mobile housing built out, added another tent by the creek, and then the outdoor kitchen, bath, and shower set up. And so those were buzzing. And then I got on Hipcamp a little bit, so people could just book and camp by the creek in the field and stuff like that. So that it was busy. I think I had, oh, what is that? I thought it was a hummingbird, but it was a giant insect. I have a new hummingbird feeder on the porch. I've enjoyed seeing the hummingbird come and go. Um, okay, so yeah, so that was year two, and the stays and people coming and going, and spent a lot of time with Dad out on the property, just camping out off grid, working on the Airstream, renovating that, and got a hold of that vintage camper, the little red camper, last year. So now we're getting into year three. This year, we'll have the Airstream vintage camper listed. I'd like to get a roof over the little red camper. I don't know if that'll happen this year or not. I've added a new outdoor shower that we built out, which was cool. We should see this. That's some of my best shorts are of us building that outdoor shower, and it was really fun, me and Dad. But I got that outdoor shower set up. That thing turned out great. It's like a portable, like affordable shower that I can build out and put anywhere on the property. So we made them out of ICB totes, I think they're called. Those big white water storage tanks. We just stacked two of them and cut them out and made a door and made a fancy wood floor inside it and whatnot. Turned out good. But so that's added now. We have that outdoor shower. I want to add, we also this year built out 3 more compost toilets. We were originally in year 2 using camp toilets, and so they're essentially like toilets that you use like a bag in, and then when you're done, you just tie it and throw the bag out, and it worked with like low volume guests, but it wasn't ideal. But I had to use what I could, and that was the most easy and workable method, and it was fine. But man, this this compost toilet upgrade was amazing. We put one at the end of last year, at the end of year 2, we put in a compost toilet up at base camp, built that out as a test, and it's essentially like using a regular toilet, and then you just sprinkle sawdust over it. And there's a little bit on my end that I'll keep an eye on, but for guests, that's it. They just use it, sprinkle sawdust, and it's done. It doesn't smell. It's like a sealed unit. It's just really cool and efficient. So I'm excited. It's gonna be so much easier to do. And so those compost toilet builds, we have a bunch of shorts on those too, and those shorts did really well. And it's just neat. It's a cool system, very efficient, and then we built 3 more, and I'm gonna put those around the property at some point. So this year, my plan is to build out one more compost toilet system for down by the creek for the camper stays. Base Camp has one, and then eventually I'd like to get one more compost toilet built out at the Camp Jamboree site. That's this campsite that's like deepest in the mountain. You have to go like up the hill behind the Airstream, past base camp in the pole barn, along this trail they cut through the woods to where there's like a clearing back in the woods. And I've got some cool videos of me and my buddy clearing that out and getting tents set up back there, and we got that listed on Hipcamp. But there's also some really great trees that I feel like would be fun to build the first little prototype tree houses and to play around with some treehouse stuff back there too. So I imagine another compost toilet back there would be nice, or maybe in the front field too, where campers are coming and going camping out in the field, and you might add another hip camp stay with a canvas tent on out in the field. So that's kind of the mix for the compost toilets. So yeah, that's what's that? So that's kind of us getting into year 3. I also have another vintage camper that needs work that I got a hold of, a 1968 Holiday Rambler, and I have a couple shorts of us getting a hold of that. I think I only have 3 posted at this point, but that's going to be another one that's in the mix that I'll probably have next year available and under roof and really cool built out stay. So that's kind of current plans. It would be nice eventually to have where I could have hire a couple extra hands, or like people that enjoy what I'm up to out here and what I'm building and doing, and that want to be involved. I feel like at some point I'll need to do that. I don't want to get too crazy or big or complicated with it. That's kind of the plan, was like I want to make sure it's what I can handle, and make it very slow and organic process. Even though like I'm working hard and pushing, and a lot has happened, like especially last year, to look at the first videos that I like posted on the channel and where the property was with literally nothing on it. It was just me playing around under that pole barn trying to build out that base camp outdoor glamping setup to where it is now. I mean, so it's moving fast, but organically and slowly, if that makes sense. But it's a lot of work for one person out here. But I'm gonna keep at it. I think the big thing is like I have a big just goal and vision of like creating some really magical stuff out here, and I just want it to happen slowly over time. Just work my way kind of up and then make improvements each year, and that way it keeps me busy and keeps me being creative and doing the stuff that I really like doing, hosting guests, creating unique spaces and building and creating. As long as I'm doing that, I'm pretty happy. So yeah, we this tiny house cabin, um, we got this just a few months ago, it feels like, and did a lot of work getting it set up so it's functional, and this is going to be really nice. For the goal is for like family and friends to use this, and we're going to put it on Verbo and Airbnb probably. Bring a little bit of income to help cover the costs of it. But yeah, so what else? What else? Oh, I'm officially a Hip Camp star host, which is like the Airbnb super host. Which so now I'm both. I'm a Hip Camp star host and an Airbnb super host, so that's exciting. And I've had a handful of requests to book for Hip Camp already, and actually have my first stay booked tomorrow. So things are kind of starting to gear up, and I'm really in crunch time, but I'm getting so tied up with little projects that I just want to get set before I bring guests in. And the property is just a freaking mess. Oh man, over the winter, just kind of bringing a lot of other tools and things in, and then trying to get rearranged and reorganized in kind of different locations and everything that's going on. I have a lot of work to do to get it really cleaned up and presentable. Yeah, but it'll get there. It'll get there. I'm excited about it. So yep, Hip Camp's already got Hip Camp people coming, and I took a break today. I just came out on the porch with my coffee, and it was so nice. And I was like, I don't feel like doing anything, so I kind of took the day off. And I told myself I wasn't going to do any work today, but I'm probably still going to go over there and do something. Just a good day. I've been working really, really, really hard the last 4 weeks or so, especially the last week. Yesterday was a very long day, and I just needed a break. And timing's good. I feel like with this hip camp guest coming in tomorrow, I have a little event that I'm going to this afternoon and evening, and then this weekend I'm going heading north to help my sister watch her house and all of her animals and stuff over the weekend. So I feel like I don't feel a lot of pressure to push because I don't have my stays up and running yet and don't have any guests coming this weekend. So I'm gonna chill, take a mental break for a second. I was thinking I might wander over there and check on my bamboo plants because I planted a bunch of willow trees, and yesterday I got crazy sidetracked looking at all of those, and I am shocked. So these willow trees, they're like that big around and like that tall, and they're just a stick. And when I just was stuck them in the ground in different places, and I had a couple bigger pieces, but still like that long, and just stuck them in the ground. And it's been almost exactly a year, and I went and looked at all of them, and there's some that are 5 feet tall in a year from a stick with no limbs. So it's been really cool to see how those have grown, where they did the best, and kind of checking on some other plants. I planted a lot of other things, so I was just kind of scoping things out. And I got sidetracked doing that for like an hour, wandering the property, kind of looking at everything I planted last year, trying to find it again. I feel like I've sadly probably misplaced a couple willow trees and things because stuff grows crazy out here, and all the flooding reshapes the bank of the creek so drastically. Like nothing's there's areas that don't even look the same. So yeah, I'll probably have to go back and look at all my original videos of planting them and see where they're all at, or check on them in the wintertime when it's not so green and it's not like a crazy difficult game of Where's Waldo or I Spy or something trying to find these willow trees. But yeah, so playing with the willows and seeing all that got me excited. It reminded me that I have bamboo plants that I planted in my secret bamboo garden, secret magic bamboo garden. I have good memories growing up with just playing in bamboo groves, and then I built a lot of fun, cool stuff with bamboo. Built a geodesic dome with bamboo, and some other things. So might use some bamboo in some of my projects on the property. But so this bamboo grove, I got different types of bamboo from a local guy, and put it in this area where you have to cross the creek, and the mountain turns real steep, and so it's kind of right there between the real steep mountain and the creek, and there's not much place for it to like run. So I was thinking it'd be a good place that it would be kind of contained and it would be kind of cool back there. But I cannot even count the amount of people that have told me that I should not plant bamboo. But it's too late. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I messaged my buddy that gave me the willow trees, and I'm gonna get a hold of some more now that I have an idea of where they thrive, and kind of keep pushing those. I'm just excited to see some more like trees and kind of bigger things come back to the property. I think the livestock that they had on the property really ate up a lot of area. Like around the creek, it's very bare. I just want to bring back some shade and life in certain areas. So the willow trees are just fun too. They're very gratifying because to go from just like a stick to a tree that's like 5 feet tall in a year, it's nice. It's like instant gratification, tree world. I had looked at a lot of different trees that were like fast growing and different things, and these specific willow trees, they're called Austrey hybrid willows, and they're like the most aggressive growing willows. Are like fastest growing that I could see. And then I found a local guy that's like one of like the experts in these types of trees, and went and visited him, walked his property, looked at all different types of areas where the trees were growing, different ways he had cut them, and super cool dude. So I reached out to him, and hopefully hope I can get him to come check out my property and see what I have going on, how well they're doing. And he's also going to I think I'm getting a hold of like probably 24 more sticks of different sizes and lengths. And now that I kind of know where they thrive, I'll plan them a little better this year, and then we'll see. So that's in the mix. All right. What else can I cover? The view here on the front porch of this little tiny house cabin is lovely. The valley is real close, the other side of the valley, and it's real steep. So it's very dominating, and it feels like it's like right in your face, and it's just kind of epic. I love it. Really, really nice view. What else is on my mind that I would like documented forever on YouTube? Huh. Well, I'm really past due for a haircut, so that's in the mix. You can tell by the length of my hair how long it's been since I've done a sit-down chat video. Oh man. My uncle is visiting when I come back from my sister's, and then just for a day, he's passing through. I'm gonna go down to Florida, and then I have a buddy that has gone in with me on some tents and is helping around with the hip camp stuff, that is going to come into town that following weekend, and we're going to get all the tents cleaned and set back up and really get some things rolling on the hip camp side, which I'm super stoked. That'll be really great timing for everything for the hip camp stuff. So I'm excited to see how that does. Hoping I can get a hand finishing up the compost toilet structure with him, because that would be a huge amenity and like bonus to have. So maybe he'll help with that. But yeah, so that's, I'm excited about that. What else is on my mind? You know, I guess that's it. Oh, some of the, this just popped in my head, some of the future stays. So, I mean, my vision is very long term. I think it's weird. I feel like uh, I feel like you I feel like things don't move fast enough. But then in the long term, what you can accomplish, like long term, if you stay focused and consistent, is can be really profound. So in the short term, it doesn't feel like you're not accomplishing enough. But then you look like just over what I accomplished in just last year, over a year, I feel like it was just insane and amazing, and proof that I'm kind of going in the right direction, and that I can really continue to do this in a really unique way. But I want to, yeah, continue to just grow and expand this. Some of the stays that I'm dreaming up over the next 10, 20 years, because that's kind of the game plan. This is the long game plan. Organic, consistent. I want to build shipping container stays. I'm set on that. I got my first shipping container delivered to the property, so I can just have it on site. I'm using it to work out of and organize things at the property as like a workshop and storage, and but it's nice to see it there and get an eye on it, and kind of an idea. It's key. Now every time I see it, I just think about building out stays using shipping containers. So I think the first stay, I'll probably drop a container and put like 4 doors in it, and build out 4 separate kind of like bunkhouses, like cabiny type stays for guests that just come in. Because I get a lot of guests that come in that want the outdoor experience. They come to hike the really incredible trails and stuff we have around here, and some of the really nice parks, and they're enjoying the Appalachian Mountains and Blue Ridge Parkway and all that. And we're not far from the Appalachian Trail, so people would come just looking for a place to camp, or just stay for a night or two, and really explore everywhere else. So I think having like little bunkhouses and like 4 separate little units for those people would be fun and easy to run and maintain initially. And I'd love to get to the point of building out really gorgeous kind of tiny house stays and stuff in whole containers and things. But as a first step, I think that would be fun to just do kind of a little bunkhouse, comfy, cozy little stays. So that's the shipping container side of things. It'd be cool to stack them too. I really think that'd be amazing. So that I'm I feel like at some point might happen. I was looking at grain silos. So they're on like metal legs, and they're big cylinder, like galvanized metal cylinders, with the kind of cone top, right? So I was looking at pricing on those and sizes, and I think it'd be fun to get a hold of one of those that could be turned into, again, like a little stay, just a comfortable place to sleep and whatnot for guests. And then eventually I could get bigger ones and build out whole uh, comfortable, like full amenity type things. But it'd be fun to play with some grain silos. I have a good spot on the property where they can walk up this hill and then walk right out into it. So they go up the hill and then could just go straight over into it in a couple areas. So make easy access to it, and it also would get above like the floodplain area, which is, I'm finding on this property, is very particular. After the hurricane and all the flooding, some record flooding in the area, I got a good sense of like where the water goes, and it's really surprising the amount of water and where it spreads around the property. So I'm a little limited on my flat areas of the property on what I can do in certain areas. I have 30 gorgeous mountain acres, but right now I'm just developing mostly the front of the property because it's easy to run and maintain and have guests come. I'd like to cut trails through the whole mountain and around the property and whatnot, and get into the trees and stuff. That's kind of like the big goal, I think, for me. Like the little kid in me, of everything I'm doing, wants to go build tree houses in every way. And I've been dabbling in 3D models, and I shared some like brainstorming of the designs and ideas, and that's absolutely going to happen. But I just can't make that a priority right now. I have to focus on building out these other standard stays and getting the revenue flowing, and people coming and going, and my kind of yearly cycle of hosting and the season, and then building and then hosting, and making sure that it's able to function really smoothly and maintain itself, and bring in enough for me to continue to grow and expand. So there's priorities on that side, but we'll see. I might dabble with just building like a small, like micro version of my bigger design treehouse. Once I have a couple of the stays built out this season, and things are smooth, and maybe while guests are coming and going, I can play around with building a little thing in the trees or something. But the goal is to build some really fun stuff in the trees at some point. So that's also future goals. Those shipping containers, grain silos, tree houses. I have the vintage campers now, and I have kind of the glamping and the rustic, cool Oregon Trail vibe thing going, and then some basic camping stuff. So I've got a good range of like stuff in the mix. Yeah. There's the other one is the domes. So I went to Oklahoma and did a dome building workshop working with foamcrete or aircrete, which is a it's cement that uses a soap like foaming agent, and you mix the ratio of like the bubbles inside the cement to the right ratio, and then you get a block that's cement, but it almost feels like styrofoam. It's like light, but you can use like an aircrete type mortar and stack the blocks just like you would regular blocks, however you want, and you can sand the blocks down and shape them. It was just a cool building method, very different. So you get these blocks, these aircrete blocks that are they can handle compression rate weight. They're not good like you can snap them like that, but they'll handle weight down, and you just stack them up, building like a dome shape, like an igloo. You have your compass and you stack the blocks around and up, and you get your dome. So I learned that whole method and met some of the most amazing people out there building a dome out there. We built a 16-foot diameter aircrete dome. I had my hands in every step of the process, and those are serious. Like they're very durable, like serious structures to build. So that I'm looking to do at some point. Um, they they host these build workshops like the one I went to in Oklahoma on people's property, and bring people in, teach them how to do it. And I had such a phenomenal experience there in Oklahoma with all those people and building for 10 days. In 10 days, we built an entire tiny house, essentially a 16-foot diameter dome that could be turned into like a little studio apartment or whatever. We got it all pretty much all the blocks. I mean, the whole process. There's so much details. I'll probably do a whole separate video talking about all the different steps, what was involved, that whole experience. At some point when I get to scheming more on the aircrete stuff. But so that workshop that I went to, they host these workshops, and I reached out to their workshop coordinator and kind of got a little bit more details about what would be involved for me to be able to host something like that, because I would absolutely love to host a bunch of people and for them to have a similar experience that I had in Oklahoma out here on my property. It would just be a dream. I'd love to meet all those people that want to build something like that want to spend time out here and see these domes actually get built out here in the mountains. So at some point that'll happen. I learned a little bit about what's involved with that, the amenities that I need, the supplies that I would need, um, and kind of how much heads up they would need to get it marketed and pushed out and get the students booked to come in. And it's a huge win-win. It, essentially, the students provide a bunch of help with the manual labor of it as they learn, which is awesome. And then I'm covering the supply cost for the material, and ideally the students like cost pays I think for the instructors and to like the dome building people to continue to host the workshops and grow and coordinate. And then like some guests may decide to pay for like meal plan or pay to stay on the property and some of the stays that exist on the property, so there's a little bit of potential revenue there as well, which would be nice. But either way, just having all those people come out and enjoy building with them and getting my hands dirty with a whole group of people. Some of the best experiences I have are working hard alongside other people building stuff. And I think that's what drew me to carpentry work and construction work. And I did a lot of that growing up. And there's something about building together, getting your hands dirty and working hard and just building. So yeah, it'd be fun. I'm really looking forward to that at some point. Um, so that's it. That's the Aircrete domes. The company's Dome Gaia, if you want to look it up, and they're amazing. So their structures are just super cool and unique and fun. So that's it. So that's kind of the idea of some of the future projects. Um, yeah, I don't want to ramble too much on about all the crazy dreams I have for the property yet, because I'm thinking like long term. I got 10, 20 years of like playing around out here. So I have a lot of things on my mind of potential. But we are in very humble beginnings right now, and I'm enjoying this process. And it is humbling. It is hard work and very fulfilling though. And I'm enjoying it. So I'm hoping to continue this incredible, crazy journey out here in the mountains, going from completely off grid and nothing to some very cool stays and hosting some very cool guests to continuing to expand and grow and enjoy this organic creative process. So hopefully you'll tag along and see all this unfold. And maybe if I get some more subscribers, I will actually put more effort into my videos and not just sit here and chat and do YouTube shorts. All right, see y'all.